One of the most heavy fights of this winter campaign is ongoing in Tabaivka just right now. Russia was able to break the Ukrainian defense, however, were not able to secure the ground, and now Ukraine performs successful counterattack. Let's go to the place. Just yesterday, Russia moved towards this village, but today Ukraine pushed them away from it. Yes, still Russians have this ground under control, but maybe not for a long time. Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update from Ukraine. The same information about the Russian advancement we have from the Mayakovsk 73. He publishes this up-to-date map. I also tried to find some of the drone videos of the combat footage, but the only thing I was able to find is how Russia uses their aviation bombs on the village. And now, as I say to you, Ukraine performs the counterattack in the place, quite successfully pushing Russians out of the village of Tabaivka. They already been pushed out. But on the other directions, Russia mainly fails. Here was the Russians' attempt to get Terny under control. They advance across the minefield and the result is imminent for them. It means that Russians neglect security measures. Security is very important nowadays. That is why I constantly use the Atlas VPN, which is the sponsor of my channel. By the way, they now have the super discount especially made for my followers, where you may get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $149 per month, plus you'll have 12 months extra. This deal is the best out there from all of the VPN services, and believe me, it is very reliable, unlike Russian tanks. Using the Atlas VPN, I may change my virtual location and may call from any kind of country, as well as Netflix. Some of the content is not available for some of the countries, so using Atlas VPN may open you new borders for the streaming services as Netflix. And by changing your virtual location on Atlas VPN, you may purchase the airline ticket with great discount, as well as booking apartments for your holidays somewhere. And now, my friends, please check out my personal link in the video description just below, or scan the QR code available on the screen, where you may get the Atlas VPN Premium with a super discount especially made for my followers for just $149 per month, plus you'll have 12 months extra. Astonishing deal, which is time limited, so hurry up to join the club. Now let's go back to Terny. Russia lost the main part of their convoy during the advancing towards Ukrainian positions. They didn't even reach those positions, but nevertheless they sent some of the reinforcements, one of the tanks and one of the BMPs, which were also kaputted on the way. Actually, 2 BMPs I see over there. So we watched those videos a lot. This picture is everywhere around the front lines. The problem for Ukraine that Russia doesn't care. They send more and more vehicles, tanks and armored personnel. For almost 2 years of war, they are unable to come out with a better tactics rather than using mid waves. Unfortunately for Ukrainian side, these Russian tactics may bring them some of the benefits if they send their forces constantly wave after wave. You are simply unable to block all of that stuff constantly moving on you. Yes, Russia has severe losses, but finally with those heavy losses they are able to take the ground. These tactics may give some tactical advantage for Russia in some particular places, but it is not the tactics with which Russia is able to win in this war, because they will waste many of their armies with that. And even for Russia, it's too much. Let's check out the Terny direction, and Russia has the assault vector from this place. They had this assault vector, but were totally ruined by Ukrainian defense. So here Ukrainian defense was really effective. About the frontline change, well, this is the only Russians result. They moved the gray zone a little bit further to Terny. That's it, nothing more. And a couple of days ago, Ukraine moved Russian forces out from this place. So probably they tried to regain positions, something like that. Based on the drone images, we may say that Russia lost 22 of the armored vehicles there in total. Tanks, BMPs, even BTRs, and there were at least 2 of the big mid-wave attacks. It is indeed crazy, just a single crossroad and many of the demolished Russian vehicles. Let's go to Avdiivka, where Ukraine tried to advance near to Stepovo across the railroad. It was the successful attack of the Ukrainian T-64 tank on the Russian positions behind the railroad. We even have the video about it. So this is the Ukrainian tank. It goes towards the Russian positions, demolishing them, as you see, behind the railroad. The information about the assault is coming from the deep state military map, and we have the video from the tank itself. It is quite unique, I would say, and I publish all of that on my Telegram group, which is available in the video description just below. The link for my Telegram group. However, we have also not so good news coming from Avdiivka. Russia advanced from the Opytne village on the southern part. So let's go to the timeline. Yesterday and today, the new attack vector by the Russian side. Probably they're trying to back up their army, which is stuck over here. But still, it's the long way for them to go. The distance is almost 3 kilometers. With the current Russian pace, this task is not possible. And this Russian group is unable to advance towards this place because there is the railroad which acts as the Ukrainian defense line. Anyways, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Nevertheless, Russia has this kind of successful attack vector towards Ukrainian positions in Avdiivka. We also have the confirmation that because of the Russian attack on the southern part of Avdiivka in Opytne, they were able to trophy the Ukrainian YPR 76 armored vehicle, which is basically stuck in a trench. Russians pushed the Dutch-made vehicle out, and now it will serve for their army. Probably. From what I see, it looks like the machine gun was removed from this vehicle. And now let's go to Novomikhailivka, where Russia chose the different tactics, because before they were unsuccessful in this region, Ukraine performed a counterattack, pushing Russian forces out from this small town. And now Russia advances from this side quite successfully. For today, they were able to get some of the tree lines under control and couple of the fields. So let's go. It was yesterday. And it is today quite a significant advancement on the northern part from Novomikhailivka, but still there is the natural obstacle, the river. So for them to go to this village directly, they need to cross it. And just right now I get the information about the Russian advancement towards Senkivka. Once again, they do not want to stop, they want to take this village under control. We don't have the map update from the place, but what we have is the drone image. Here we go with the fight itself. Ukraine sent tank to stop the Russian infantry advancement. So Russia, yes, advanced just with the infantry forces through this forest to reach Senkivka village. And later on, Ukrainian tank also went to the forest to check the Russian positions out there. So why Ukraine sent just a single tank to conquer the Russian infantry advancement? Basically, our guys flown there with surveillance drones. They checked that Russians didn't have anti-tank weaponry with them, so in this case a single tank is enough for this operation to stop the Russian infantry advancement. So we may say that definitely Russia activated their forces in attempt to get more territories from Ukraine. They want to succeed in winter campaign because Putin wants to have some of the achievements before the elections. His minimum plan is to occupy Avdiivka and Kupiansk. But something tells me that he will not succeed, at least this winter. Why? Because even with the Russian resources, they lose too much of the forces. Here are some of the vehicle losses just for a single day yesterday. The red are the Russian losses and blue at the very bottom are Ukrainian losses. Ukraine hasn't lost any sort of the tanks, but Russia lost that many tanks, from which as usual half were abandoned, almost half. Also Russia lost the record number of Grads, it's the rocket artillery system, the most popular for the Russian army, and just look at the infantry vehicles, BMPs and BTRs. Crazy. Ukraine lost one boat, one artillery system and couple of BMPs. As I showed you, one was captured by Russians. We have the statistics of the FPV drone strikes. Still, Ukraine prevails if we speak about the FPV operation on vehicles. So here, Ukraine obviously has advantage. But if we speak about the operation on positions, here Russian side has advantage. As well as in operation on infantry forces. So Russia little by little takes the initiative in using the FPV drones because they have the government programs. By the way, Ukrainian government program also was announced. It will be in combination with our allies, and totally there will be around 1 million drones produced for Ukrainian army this year, which I would say is still not enough for our army because we are in lack of artillery, so we need to compensate it with the using of many drones. The mainstream media sources say that Russia intensified the fire all around the front lines. Yes, indeed, we see it. For the second consecutive days, they tried to attack Ukrainian positions elsewhere. CNN, for example, counted around 50 of the Russian attacks per couple of days. But I don't think that Russia is able to continue like that for a very long time. The next week, obviously, they will be out of their main tactical reserves, so they would require some reinforcements and pause in their attacks. We have good news from our ally Greece. They will send to Ukraine the air defense systems, Soviet-made air defense systems like Tor, Osa, and S-300. Yes, probably the maintenance should be performed on those, but Ukraine has capability to maintain those Soviet-made systems. The United States of America made this deal possible. Then they announced that they will send F-35s to Greece, and Greece released in this case the air defense systems for Ukraine. Just a couple of days ago, United States announced that they will supply F-16s to Turkey and F-35s to Greece. Again, some of the mainstream media about the Ukrainian support and the border deal. They stated that Donald Trump ordered Republicans not to vote for the border reform. So Trump wants to extend this problem until he gets elected. And only then he'll try to solve it. I say it again, Ukraine is taken as the hostage right now. With a high probability, right now it's the most intense period that we require weaponry, not for offense, but for defense. And we do not get it because of the political games in the United States. Mainly that was the main reason why I started my other channel. Then I speak about the case in more details. I'll put it in the video description just below. If Donald Trump really says and ordered to Republicans not to vote for the deal, it means that Ukraine will stay out of any help throughout 2024. But still we have Europeans who might help Ukraine at least to hold the territories or try to hold the territories. At the same time, Russia increased its military budget by 70%. They'll have millions of artillery shells, they'll produce many more tanks and BMPs, BTRs, whatever. And for sure they will announce a new massive mobilization in Russia right after Putin gets elected. Maybe they're gonna wait a couple of months, but really they will announce it because now we have the signs that Russia is in lack of the army men because they canceled the agreement with all of their prisoners who thought that they will stay in Russian army just for 6 months. So now it's not the option for them any longer. By the way, 6 months it was the idea of Prigozhin. It means that they need more army men. So Ukraine is really in a difficult situation, mostly because of the politicians. It makes me very sad because no firm actions were done to support Ukraine, let's say 1 year ago, with all of the military help at once. We might use the wave then Russia retreated from Kharkiv Oblast, from Kherson. With enough resources, Ukraine had the chance to advance, but unfortunately it didn't happen. The summer Ukrainian offensive failed because Russia got the chance to prepare for it during the winter time. And now Russia is preparing itself for assault during the winter time, and Ukraine uses winter time just for active defense, not collecting resources for the summer campaign. It means that Ukraine will defend only during the summer period. And if this political sabotage continues, Ukraine will lose more territories for sure, including Avdiivka, Kupiansk, and many more, unfortunately. Yeah, I think I already spoke too much about this topic here, and check out my other channel here. I speak more about the case. Pentagon confirmed the military losses in Jordan because of the kamikaze drone attack on facility. Also, many were wounded. Just for the last day, there were 5 of the attacks on the United States military bases and other facilities, mostly in Syria and Iraq. In this situation, with the drone attacks escalates quickly, so United States need to take measures to secure their bases in the Middle East, and obviously Iran is responsible for those attacks. Directly or indirectly, I'm sure that they supply drones to the rebels of Iraq or something like that. They have lots of the proxy forces all around. By the way, not long time ago, there was the information that Lloyd Austin announced that United States would withdraw their army from Iraq. All of the military bases will be closed, but I think it will not happen. And I read the article where he didn't say it directly. Because if United States move out from Iraq, Iran will go for it. Some of the stupid parties in Romania and Hungary already announced that if Ukraine loses the war against Russia, they would like to take the Ukrainian land, as they say the part which originally belongs to their countries. And some of those BRICS have quite a lot of support in their countries. For example, this marginal party which wants to exit NATO and take Ukrainian territories, openly announcing the possible annexation of Ukraine, they have 19% of support. We are speaking about Romania, the key ally in Europe of the United States and also of Ukraine. Yes, the ruling party has 30% of the votes for now, but you know, time goes, and in 2025 there will be elections in Romania. Who knows who would they elect? We see the story about Slovakia, Hungary, and it's not good. You probably heard about the Russian opposition candidate Nadezhdin and how the Russian opposition supports his nominee. He wants really to stop the war. He's really against Putin. But I think that those are just the words. Let's listen what he says about the Anglo-Saxons who humiliate Russians. This time Russians are American Indians. Let's listen.
Веками англосаксы угнетали индейцев, а индейцы — это наши русские. Они пришли из России туда. Спросите великого русского антрополога Дробышевского. Индейцы — это мы русские. Индейцы — это русские. Они из России пришли, знаете, они жили в России.
I think that this case is clinical. I made those subtitles, by the way, they're legit. I get the comments that he is forced to act like that because he is on the Russian TV shows, he wants to be recognized all around Russia. But no. Yes, maybe he's better than Putin in some way because he wants to stop the war, but he doesn't say how he wants to stop it, because Putin also says that he wants to stop the war. Also, I'm sure that Nadezhdin was propelled by Kremlin itself. As a fact, he got a friend in president's office. I will speak about it on my other channel in more details. And if he speaks that Putin is bad, we need to change the Russian government, we need to stop the war, openly speaks about it, he's allowed to collect the signatures from the people to go for the elections. No one is stopping him. He's not in jail. He is not dead. It means that Putin is okay with it. Only like that. So my idea that this guy will not change anything and just used to release the steam, the tension inside the Russian society. And you know, Putin is not the only problem of the Russian Federation. The problem of Russia is Russia itself in its current state. Even under the ruling of the previous president, Boris Yeltsin, Russians did the same stuff in Chechnya as what they do right now in Ukraine. It means that the Russia itself should be changed. That is why I do not support the Russian opposition or something like that. The best scenario would be the Soviet Union collapse scenario applied for the Russian Federation, and I'm sure that it's gonna happen. The Russian society is very divided. That is why Putin eagerly wants to find something to unite them. That is why basically they always need the external war to be united against someone. This time it is Ukraine. In the future it could be Europe. Russia will not stop until it collapses. It is the only guarantee for all of us to stay secured. Yes, you may say that Dennis, you are a dreamer, but no, I'm not. I used to live in Russia for some short period of time. I spoke with Russians. They're not okay with their country. They're not okay with themselves, I would say. It means that their system has no perspective and will collapse one day, hopefully sooner than later. By the way, Nadezhdin also supported the occupation of Crimea, my homeland, so why should I like him? My friends, don't forget to press your huge like to this video. By doing so, you help me a lot. And also, don't forget to check my personal link where you may find the Atlas VPN Premium with a huge discount made just for my followers. Atlas VPN also supports my channel constantly. They're awesome and they also do support Ukraine. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.